Hi there, Stampers. This is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. Welcome to today's live. Today we're going to play around with Stampin' Up! Flip flaps. And I don't know if you know what those are, but they're little plastic flip things that can be used in photo albums. They can be used to create your own photo albums, but they're just these little clear plastic pieces that you can put photographs, paper, any number of things in. But today we're going to use them inside of a card. Now, I will warn that this makes it a little bit thick and heavy, so I maybe wouldn't recommend mailing one of these unless you're willing to pay the extra postage. But it is a really fun card for people who like pictures, who want a little extra something. It's a really fun idea, and I just wanted to make you aware that flip flops are out there, that they are fun to use, and a couple of the things you can do with them. So let's get started. Okay, as I said, I've seen them on large, like 12 by 12 pages where they just kind of flip in from the side or from the top, or you can cut a slit into your page protector and have a flap that you can lift. And like I said, these little books, Sarah had done this book, but she had done it with 4x6 because the flip flaps do come in multiple sizes. They come in 4x6, 3x4, 3x3, and 4x4. And I didn't have the 4x6, although it made a really cute little book. I redesigned it and changed the measurements so that it would fit 4x4. And I haven't filled it yet, but I just wanted to show you one of the things that you can do with the flip flaps is create your own little book with all these little areas that you can put more pictures into. Okay, so that's one of them. But today we're going to focus on a card. It's a fun fold card, and we do have a fabulous bundle with a whole bunch of balloons and balloon dies and those sorts of things, but I don't have them yet. So I made my own balloons, and I thought I'd show you how I do that using a circle punch and the jar builder punch. Okay, we're going to use these sentiments from the Lily of the Valley because I thought they went very well and that you could use more than one. So however many times it flipped open, there were some sentiments that you could use, in a row, so you could have more of them. And then I'm using the Sweetest Words and Labels dies as well. Okay, I wanted the card to open in thirds. So I started out with a standard card base of 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4, but I needed that extra side. And a lot of times we'll take a 12 by 12 and we'll cut it down, we'll score it down so that it is 4 inches wide. But some of you have said you don't have 12 by 12 paper. We do sell it. It comes in lots of colors. And maybe even the two-tone would be a good idea to use because it's nice and lightweight. But I decided to just do it with the basic white cardstock, and I'm going to just glue some together. So I have my standard card base, and then I have this additional piece that is 5 inches by 5.5, and I scored it at 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to use some glue, and I'm going to just glue this onto the other card base I have and extend it. Now it is going to have this little lip in here, which some might worry about, but I think once we adhere the designer series paper down over the top of it, it's not going to be that noticeable. You could, even if you chose to, wedge right in here and cut this off at an angle so that when you did put your designer series paper down, even this on the little 1/8 of an inch that will be seen won't be there. But I left it so I could butt it up to the edges and make sure everything is nice and square. I do want to make sure that it's going to close. So if it is a little bit tight in here, you may want to give it a little bit of a shave so that it does go in there quite smoothly and is able to close. Okay, so that's going to be our base. Then I'm using the Splash of Sparkles, a designer series paper. And they call it that because it's all these beautiful bright colors with gold accents, and it's very festive. And so I thought it was very birthday card-ish. So that's what we're using. And then these are all, yeah, 4 by 5 1/4. You could go a little bit tighter and do 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, but I went with the standard 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to put the same one on the front, but on the 12 by 12 sheets that come in this pack, there was one that had these beautiful like brush strokes of color. And I used some of them in here, but it extended beyond that and it gave more of a rainbow effect. And so I'm using half of it in one and then the other half in here. So this was more of a blues and purples, and this is going to be oranges and yellows. I did get out my little cardstock sampler swatch book. I sell these on my website. It's just a 2 3/4 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock in each color. And then I pulled the colors that Stampin' Up! Told me were in this pack. It also has Pretty in Pink and Shy Shamrock, but those are retired. These are all the current colors, and it still gave me plenty to work with. And this was very handy for kind of laying down on the front, trying to decide what color my balloons were going to be. Okay, so I did decide on Bubble Bath, Highland Heather, and Balmy Blue. Because the Bubble Bath is in here, I stuck the Bubble Bath on the top so that it didn't blend in too much to the background, but that's how I came about the colors I'm using here. Okay, when I open this up, as I said, I'm going to use these pieces that were from the, I guess it could go either way, other half of that 12 by 12 sheet. And I wanted my brush strokes to go all the way across. It was a way for me to use the whole 12 inches without losing the design so much, because I thought it was so pretty as is. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those on. I'm doing a little bit of adhesive in each corner and then centering it in the layer. And so here you can see what I was talking about how you can see that little 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch. But had I gone in there as I was assembling it and wedged it, you know, a little bit, I guess it was this way, wedge it this way a little bit, then you would have only seen it, you know, up here. But I don't think it's that noticeable, so I'm not really going to worry about it. Did anybody do anything fun over the weekend? My husband and I decided to move our bed downstairs into the basement because it was like, I don't know, 104 or something ridiculous this weekend. And it's just like 10 or 15 degrees cooler in the basement. So he wanted to move the bed. So my conference table came down and the bed went up. Looks a little strange, but it's very cool at night. Okay. Then I'm going to put this one here. Oh, I may want to make a little adjustment in there because we're going to have to add those flip flaps and they're going to go in the center. Ooh, I wanted that this way. Okay, see, I get talking and I lose myself. It can go either way, but I don't know. I don't think I like the silver and the gold together. I think it needs to go this way. Oops. So that's where this adhesive remover comes in. This is something that's on my Amazon storefront. So you can find that link in the description. I've already added that there. I also got ahead of myself this time and I put the link down there for the free crafting summit that's coming up this week. They're doing a kickoff Wednesday night, and then it will be Thursday through Sunday with more than 20 different demonstrators. And they're not, I think I'm the only Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, but they're all professional card makers with YouTube channels and all of that. And we're all giving like little freebies to anybody who upgrades to the paid ticket. There's like over $600 in extra stuff that you get. You can attend for free. It's going to be a fabulous conference under the free ticket, but you have to watch all the videos within 24 hours. For this small upgrade price, you have lifetime access and all of the additional free tutorials and books and downloads. And there's just so many different things that people are offering for the paid ticket. So either way, if you want to come and watch for free or you want to upgrade and have lifetime access that starts today, I encourage you to click that link and just check it out. It might be something you're interested in if you're looking for some inspiration. It's all going to be focused on the holidays. So it's going to be Christmas cards and Halloween and Thanksgiving, all that stuff that's coming up quicker than I'm comfortable with. So I did do some fun fold Christmas cards, and I saw Alice Keegan. She's a fabulous coloring person. She colors with colored pencils and alcohol markers and all of that. She has Vanilla Arts Design. I don't know if you've seen her before. She's going to be there. Just a bunch of great artists. Okay, I did mention we have these flip-flaps that I didn't get going yet. So the way the flip-flaps come is they are clear and they have, you know, a little pocket at the top. One of the things you could do is put a little seal of maybe Terran tape or, you know, something right across the top, and you could even put confetti in there, you know, some kind of shaker, so you could make a shaker card out of it. And just seal it shut. So you would put the adhesive, you know, back here. So it would be half on the paper and half on the thing. And then when we wrap it around, it seals all that confetti in so none of it falls out, and you can make an easy shaker card. I do have a piece of white that I was going to add a little strip of something down the side, which I had. So I'm just going to do a little 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch. Just a little something to give it some flair. But this is where you would sign your name or endorse it to whoever you're giving it to. So I've got this in basic white, and then I'm going to use a second piece of the designer series paper to back it so that when you lift it up, you still have some sparkle. So you want to go this way because I want to put the strip of adhesive towards the back, and we're going to adhere them together like this, and then they're going to go onto the card. Okay, so pull this one, no, this one, the one on the bottom, because the stuff's on the top. Okay, so I'm adhering those two together, and then I'm going to peel off this one, and it's going to tuck back here. So you may want to lift this up a little bit. I probably should have adhered this before I adhered it to the card. That's one of the reasons I really like the seal adhesive better than the liquid glue. I make some goofs sometimes, and a little bit of a a hit with the heat tool or some of the, what is it, undo, and I can lift up that and redo this stuff very easily. Okay, but I'm going to take this and fold it over the top, kind of centering it, and then sealing it down. Okay, so now I've got my little flip-flops and my tri-fold card, and now we're ready to start decorating. Okay, so I'm gonna come in with some die cutting. We're gonna need our labels. So we have the front label and then the inside labels, and then we're gonna make our balloons. So I'm gonna do the die cutting first, and I can do that with my little mini here. I'm gonna use this one and that one and this one. Okay, this is the Cut and Emboss Machine Mini. So it's got a 3-inch opening and is much more portable than our standard one that has the 6-inch opening. The smaller one is good if you just want to do little things like labels and, you know, all of that. The bigger one is good if you want to do more embossing. There are a few labels that are the 3-inch opening, but most of the embossing folders are for the 6-inch opening. But I find this one great for using on camera or taking to events that I attend, because it's so small and portable and lightweight. Some people have asked about the plates warping. They don't warp as easily if you rotate them each time, so that they are upside down and then right side up and upside down and right side up, so that they get even wear and tear. I have a tendency to put my more worn plate on the bottom and my newer one on top. Although both of these are now starting to get worn. And then if they do indeed warp, one of the things I've seen is that you would heat up some water and you would put it into a like casserole dish, and then you would heat up more water and you would set your plates into the casserole dish, and then take the second pot of water and leave the water in the pot and set the pot on top of the plates in the casserole dish. So they're kind of sandwiched between, you know, what the water in the casserole dish and what's in the pan, and then leave it sit for a little while, and it helps to flatten them back out. The water will also loosen all of the adhesives and the little pieces of cardstock that get kind of wedged in there, and it makes them much more usable. So just a tip. Okay, so I'm going to do this sentiment this way and this, so portrait, and this one horizontal, like landscaped. So I have happy birthday. I'm going to do them both in Highland Heather. And then this one says, to a forever kind of friend. Okay, the one on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and adhere flat because I don't want to make this any thicker and make the card hard to close and, you know, more expensive to mail. And then the outside one I'm going to put on dimensionals because I want to straddle the strings that are going to the balloons. Again, you may want to lay it flat and, you know, deal with the little bit of a bump that's going to be under there for the purpose of mailing, you know, if you want to keep it thinner. But that's up to you. Like I said, this is a great design for hand delivering. Okay, now we're ready for our balloons. Okay, like I said, Stampin' Up! Does have some fabulous balloon dies. I do highly recommend them. It's a fun stamp set that goes with it, and the balloons get really big, so they'd be good for banners and all kinds of good stuff. But I'm going to make some round balloons with the punches. Okay, so there's my 3 balloons. Now I need the little bottom piece that makes them really look like balloons instead of just a group of circles. And so when I was looking up at my punches, I thought that's kind of what that looks like, right? The little tip on this jar. So I'm going to punch out a few of these in the coordinating colors. See, someone said they signed up for the free summit. That's so cool. I think you're going to love it. Like I said, keep an eye on the page. It will have a kickoff Wednesday night, and then there will be stuff Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're even going to have some live Q&A. I think mine is Friday. Lots of good stuff. Okay, now because this needs to go underneath, I don't want the outside hanging over. So I'm kind of going to take this and I'm going to wedge upward. Okay. So I'm holding it this way, and that's what I'm going to attach to the bottom of my balloon. Like that. Isn't that cool? Has anybody tried this one before? Have you found another punch that works for this little part of our balloon? I'm sure there's other punches that would work equally as well. This is just the one I spotted when I looked up at my row of punches. I have them all on it's like a towel rack over my desk. I got it at IKEA. Okay, the other thing that you could do to make them look more like balloons is you could hit them with Wink of Stella, or you could press them into the Versamark pad and then put it down in your embossing tray, cover with clear embossing powder, and then heat set that so that it would be clear embossed all over the top. That would make them nice and shiny. That takes a little bit to dry, not much, but a little bit, and I didn't want to do that on camera. So I'm just going to use the white gel pen, which thankfully has come back into the catalog, to do a little bit of a kind of accent. So I'm just going to take my white gel pen and I'm going to just go back and forth like where the light would hit it. And of course I want them all on the same side because the light would all be coming from the same angle. So I've got one here, here, and here. So I want to make sure my bottom is down here. Do some of you watching have my Fun Fold tutorial books? I'm looking for some new ways to advertise them, and I would love to have some feedback from you guys of what you like, and maybe even what you think I could improve on, because book number 5 is coming out and you still have time to influence that one. But I have gotten some good feedback on them. I mean, quite a bit, but not something I saved, I guess, so that I could use them in my advertising. So if you're willing to do that for me, I would appreciate that greatly, because I think they're great books. I mean, they have so much potential. They don't take up very much room. They have the video link. They have the graphic, they have some photos, and then they have those generic instructions so that you can change it up and use it with whatever you have on hand. And I just want to get them out in front of more eyeballs so people know they exist. Okay, I'm going to take some baker's twine. Okay, and I'm going to just cut several lengths of it. I had this one left over from before. I don't know how long this is going to take me to use, but it's going to be like forever. Stampin' Up! Sells much more reasonably sized ones. Okay, now I can either put some tear and tape or liquid glue or whatever on the back of here, but the idea is I want the string to appear to be coming from below the balloon. So I'm going to put one kind of as close to the bottom as I can get it without it being visible. Then I'm going to use my nail to push the string into it. And again, these could go on at the top. They could go on with some dimensionals as well. That would allow clearance for that kind of thing. But once I figured out kind of where I wanted them to go, I want them to be kind of different heights and overlapping. Then I'm going to take my strings and I'm going to just do a knot. Okay. Okay, so there we can see my strings and my balloons. Of course, they don't need to be this long, so we can trim that off. And then they're going to go on my card front. Okay, and they are a little long. So maybe what I can do is just do another quick knot higher up, maybe. There we go. Yep, now we're talking. Okay, that's a much better length. Okay, so we just need to decide how we want these. I kind of covered up my little highlight on this balloon. So after we get them down, I will do another little accent. But let's just come in with some dimensionals up here. And I will show you why I add them to the bottom when we do our sentiment. And it's to kind of make room because we added some depth to these when we added the extra piece of cardstock, the glue dot, and then the string. So when I tried to stick them flat, it didn't go real flat. See what I mean? So this one we're going to pop up. So what do you think? Have you used flip-flops before? Has this changed your mind about them at all? Is it something you think you might give a try? I always love to hear your feedback. It's fun when you guys kind of talk to me because at least that way I know I'm not talking to myself. I think that's why I jabber so much, because the quiet makes me nervous. And if you're on my email list, then you saw that Stampin' Up's new foil system came out last week. That seems to be very popular. People are loving that professional look it can give to cards. Be great for like wedding invitations and things. It's pretty exciting. So see how there's that knot there? And when I go to put this over, I can run it a little high so the knot's underneath it. But if the knot has to cover it at all, then see, again, I have a really big kind of bump there. So by putting those dimensionals under there, but I'm again pushing them to the sides, leaving the middle open so that this little channel right here is where the strings will go. And there you go. There is the trifold card using Stampin' Up flip flaps. In this one, I used a picture in here since it was talking about friends. And then, of course, has the green for the signature area. And you could put another sentiment there if you wanted. But that is today's card. And then Thursday, I will be back live doing the side diamond pillar card. So come back on Thursday to see how to do this one. Are there any questions that anybody has? Let me know if there's ever anything I can help with. That's why I'm here. I appreciate you guys being live because that helps me kind of keep focused a little. Okay, Helene says, few easy circle cards, quick and easy. Not sure what that means, but again, I appreciate you being here, and feel free to email me or check out my website. And I do appreciate those of you who shop with me. And I will see you on Thursday. Thank you so much. Bye.